I have these two walls, this hallway that I walk through between my kitchen and my living area. And when I walk through there, if I will take the time to notice and just allow myself to really go mindful, I I am so full of gratitude because I'm looking at the faces of my daughters. Um, I I am in awe of them and the fact that I was given the opportunity to be their mom. I didn't always do it well. I didn't always do it perfectly. There's plenty of places where I'm appalled at my bad mom moments, years even. But I can still stand there and be so grateful for the fact that I have them in my life, that they still love me and that they've forgiven me for my mistakes. And gratitude is not always so easy for me to do. I've really struggled with that because, especially of late, because life hasn't been so easy for me. It's been, a challenge. I've had a lot of stuff to overcome. I've had a lot of stuff to work through. And sometimes when I'm in a really bad place, it's like I wear blinders and I can only see the stuff that was not so wonderful. And gratitude allows me to open up my eyes a little bit, take those blinders down a little bit, and stand in the hallway between my those two walls and see the faces of my children and my grandchildren and take in a wholehearted sense of gratitude. I'm Melody Brook. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I'm a marriage and family therapist. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm an actor. And I'm a grandmom and a mom. And I am aware. I've always sort of been aware of the practice of gratitude, but it's not something I've ever really integrated into my daily life. And as I've been listening to Brene Brown. Brene Brown has a 10th anniversary edition of her book, um, the Gift of Imperfection. I don't know if you read that, but I love Brene. And, I get frustrated sometimes because when she talks about the things that she feels ashamed of, I'm like, oh boy, you got nothing, got nothing on me, honey. So, it cracks me up because the things that she's talking about is like, okay, they're so minuscule. And yet it's true. We do go into these crazy shame attacks over things that are stupid and silly and make no rational sense. But some of us have big stuff that is really hard for us to let go of. And when we get stuck in that place, it is hard for us to embrace wholehearted, complete gratitude for our lives, for being alive, for the gifts that we do have in our life. We kind of can put those blinders on and forget. And yet the truth is, and she's so right, that if we allow ourselves to bask in that enjoyment of gratitude, it actually does bring joy to our lives. We may be struggling with a lot of things, and boy, I don't know how many of us have escaped a lot of misery in this past year and a half. And I know from my practice, the deaths, the losses, the divorces, the stress, just the overwhelm, the anxiety attacks, and just the financial strain, and all this stuff that's happened that has created chaos and pain and misery in people's lives. And here I am talking about gratitude. Well, I can see why that might be a difficult thing, just like it's often for me difficult. And yet, if we can find those little glimpses, those little moments, like I'm so grateful for my beautiful granddaughter. I have a granddaughter who is 10 years old, and she was born with a developmental disorder that caused her to have where she actually couldn't eat solid food. She couldn't eat. She couldn't eat from the birth, and now she can. She also could not walk until she was about 6 or 7, and so there's obviously a lot to be grateful for there. But for me personally, to have the experience, like I went to the park with my kids and all the grandkids, and we were sitting there, and all the other kids ran off to play, and my 10-year-old granddaughter Eve sat on my lap. She didn't want to go off to play. She just wanted to sit on my lap. And I just like treasure and feel so grateful for that few moments. So whenever I get into a place where I'm sure I will again, into a place where I'm struggling to feel grateful, I can come back to that moment and just revel in that moment of the joy of just having her sit there on my lap. Touch is something that a lot of us have missed out on in the last year. And for me now, especially, it's just every moment that I have where I can have that cuddle time with one of my grandkids or even my kids. That'll happen too. Um, it gives me more opportunities to revel in that wholehearted gratitude that allows me to express and experience a little bit of joy. One of the things Brene talks about is how wholehearted people have bigger, more experience of joy in their life. And the way they do that is through gratitude. So when we can sort of make ourselves deliberately find moments of gratitude, then we can sort of infuse ourselves with a sense of joy, even when maybe there's stuff in our life that doesn't feel so joyful. There aren't very many of us that have come through this last year without some losses, without some overwhelming moments, without some things coming up of grief and trauma. So even with all of that, it is possible to find those moments and infuse ourselves with some wholehearted gratitude so that we can recenter ourselves in the joy of being alive, which is sometimes hard, sometimes seems wrong. and and yet when we can deliberately take the time to mindfully stand between those two walls and just revel in the gratitude of these lives whom I have had the opportunity to touch, to be a part of, continue to be a part of, to find those moments like when my granddaughter's cuddling on my lap, to be able to feel the gratitude of that. Yeah, that's what makes it all worthwhile. That's what gives us sort of that opportunity to step forward to another day that may be difficult. So my wish for you is that you can do what I'm going to start doing, what I have started doing, which is to practice those moments of allowing myself to be infused with wholehearted gratitude. So if you have an opportunity to do that today, if you find an opportunity, a time, a moment in your week, maybe come back to the video and make a comment below so that I can share in some of that joy of that gratitude that you've allowed yourself to experience. So I appreciate you. I'm grateful that there are people that watch this, even if they watch it later and don't watch it live. I I don't always know how it lands. A lot of times I get no comments. So sometimes it's hard for me to know that it's making a difference. And then today someone said, I just so appreciate your lives. They mean so much to me. So I will keep doing them, even if I don't get a lot of interaction because I do know that there are a few people that it does feed. And as long as it's feeding even one person, I'm going to keep doing it. So put some comments below if you wish. If you have any topics that you would like for me to talk about in the future, let me know. You can find out more about me at melodybrook.com. You can also find my books on Amazon, and I will